everybody, JC here from Toy News International and MarvelousNews.com, and today I'm throwing together a video. I wanted to give you my reactions to the new Spider-Man Homecoming trailer that debuted this morning from Sony Pictures. I thought it was a pretty good trailer. It gives us a lot of insight on how I think the movie's going to play out. So if you haven't seen it, if you avoid all spoilers, including trailers and such, I wouldn't watch this video. But again, I'm going to share my thoughts on the trailer. And if you haven't checked it out, I will put a link to the trailer in the video description below. But probably, I'm guessing most of you have already seen the trailer at this point. We've seen some other promotional items for the movie in the last couple days. We've seen a couple new posters. The coolest one being the one where he's kind of laying out in front of Avengers Tower, goofing off, listening to music. There's another one where it looks like he's wall crawling up Avengers Tower, and then a third one where he's like on a highway sign that says "To Queens." So, you know, kind of cool promotional stuff. We haven't really seen, I don't think we've seen the official movie poster for the movie yet. But anyway, the trailer, I think, gives us a lot of insight. We get to see exactly why he ends up wearing that homemade suit, which is pretty much what I suspected. Tony is not happy with Peter and his actions, and takes the suit away from him, basically. And that happens, it looks like, after that ferry scene. We saw bits of that in the first trailer where the Vulture blows the front of the ship out, and then the boat starts to split apart, and we see Peter, you know, pulling the boat, keeping the boat together with his webbing. And so we get some more insight on that. It looks like Tony joins Peter in his Iron Man suit, and while Peter's keeping the boat together, Iron Man's pushing the boat back to shore with the help of some thruster jets that attach to the boat. You know, we see him pushing it back and to safety. But then after that, I guess Peter, you know, he kind of is like mad at Peter because people could have been killed and stuff. And so he's mad at Peter, and he ends up taking the suit away. And at one point, Peter's like, you can't take the suit. I'm nothing without the suit. And Tony replies, if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't be doing this. So I guess Peter has become really reliant on all the gadgets and stuff that Tony created in the suit for him. And so now he's got to go back and kind of basically do the crime fighting without all the high-tech gadgetry. And it looks like that homemade suit with the hoodie and everything, it looks like that's going to play a pretty significant role in this movie. I'm guessing the final battle, looks like he's going to be wearing that, and it looks like they're fighting over some kind of airplane. And at one point, you see Peter's having to try and keep the airplane from crashing, and he's sitting there pulling up the plane with his webbing. So that's kind of interesting. But I'm guessing, he could be wearing that homemade suit for maybe even almost half the movie. Now we also do see some new gadgets for Spider-Man with this trailer. We saw in the teaser trailer for this trailer the other day, we saw this drone-looking thing, his spider symbol on his chest. Looks like will act as a drone. I'm guessing that's what it is, but it flies off his chest, and so I'm thinking it's a drone, and he can send it off to like get the lay of the land and stuff. So that's kind of cool. We also see a new webbing effect or something where it looks like he shoots the web, and it like hits the side of the wall of the ferry, and then kind of explodes out. So that's an interesting new technique. I don't know if we've seen something like that in the comic or not. I don't recall, but definitely he's getting some major upgrades from Iron Man and Tony Stark with this suit, which is kind of cool. Also, the suit, which we'd seen kind of in the first trailer, is self-fitting, so it's like he puts it on and then it tightens up and fits exactly to his body and stuff, so that's cool. And at one point it looks like his friend learns his secret identity and stuff. I think his friend's name is Ned, and he's like, hey, can I try the suit on? And then we see him, he's got the mask on. I don't know if he puts on the entire suit at any point, but it's pretty funny. Another funny scene was where they're they're at school, and it looks like they're in gym class, and they're watching a fitness challenge video from Captain America. And it looks like this video was filmed a while back because Cap's wearing his costume from the first Avengers movie. So, being that Cap's not Cap at the moment, he's kind of underground. But this looks like a video, I guess, was put out by fitness people a while back. And his friend's like, do you know him? And he's like, I stole his shield. So that's pretty funny. And there's one point where I think it's in the limousine, where we've seen a couple of scenes where Peter, and that's kind of where this seems to this movie starts to begins with, and it's Peter wanting to be an Avenger. And I guess Tony, for whatever reason, either because he thinks Peter's maybe too young, just doesn't want to get him, see him hurt, because, I think Tony kind of looks at Peter as a son, and so he's like, really doesn't seem to want Peter to be an Avenger, and so he's like, can't you just be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, getting in that tagline, so that's kind of a nice nod. And we see, so I'm guessing how this is going to play out is towards the beginning of the movie. I guess we're going to be in Washington, D.C., because we've seen those scenes with, him climbing up the Washington Monument and jumping over the helicopter, and that's where he, releases that drone off of his chest. So I'm guessing that takes place more at the beginning of the movie, and I think that's when we, Toomes, the Vulture, played by Michael Keaton, ends up stealing the wings that he uses for his Vulture costume. I think that's probably going to be towards the beginning of the movie. And we see, that bank heist and stuff where they're using the high-tech gadgetry. I think that's all related to the Vulture. I think he's been gathering up technology. He may have some kind of affiliation with Tony Stark, because in this new trailer we see, he's talking about Tony, and he's like, people like Tony Stark don't give a, crap about the little guy. And so, I'm wondering if there's, in this universe, there's some connection between Toomes and Tony Stark. We also get a nice Vulture nod where we see Michael Keaton wearing this leather jacket with this big fur collar. So that's kind of a tribute to the classic Vulture costume. A nice little nod to that. But so I'm thinking that takes place towards the beginning. He steals the technology and puts it together to create the suit with the wings and everything to become Vulture. And then Peter wants to stop him, and Tony's like, leave the crazy flying man to, there's people out there who can handle that, and Peter disobeys him, and then they end up, trying to stop him on the ferry, and then the ferry thing goes bad. Then Tony takes the suit away from him, and then Peter sets out to stop the Vulture on his own in his own homemade suit and everything, and then we have the final battle at the end of the movie. That's how I'm guessing this movie basically plays out. Now there's an interesting line by the Vulture where he's like, I would do anything to protect my family, and I don't know what family he's referring to, or why Peter would be trying to stop him from protecting his family. I don't really remember Vulture having strong family ties in the comic, but I could be misremembering. But that'll be interesting to see how that, what that's all about. But I'm guessing he's, I guess maybe in his mind he's stealing all this stuff and doing all the things that he's doing, and to protect his family, I guess, is in his mind is how he sees it. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. But so far from what I'm seeing from this trailer, this is probably the most excited I've been about a Spider-Man movie for maybe since the very first Spider-Man movie. So definitely looking forward to this. It makes me, every time I see these trailers and see, Iron Man and Spider-Man and all the combination of the two studios and stuff, it's like I just wish 20th Century Fox would follow suit and do the same thing with X-Men. I think that would improve that, the X-Men so much if they would just work with Marvel and bring the universes together. But time will tell if that ever happens. But anyway, I'm looking forward to this. Spider-Man opens in theaters on July 7th, 2017. Again, if you haven't checked out the new trailer, I'll put a link in the video description below. And until next time, guys, I will catch you later.